I'd like to call the meeting to order for Monday, July 17th, 2023. Please rise for the pledge. Alderman Rick Crawford will lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Father, we're grateful to you for the day that you made for us today, for the blessings that you sent us. We're especially thankful, Father, for the blessing of being able to represent the people of our good city in this meeting tonight. And we pray, Father, that as representatives of those good people, that we'll use the wisdom that comes from you, that you bless us with that as we make decisions to move this city forward. We're thankful to you, Father, for the way that you take care of us every day. And we ask, Father, tonight that you take care of those who are absent even from this board tonight, that are having some difficulties. And we just pray that you would be with them, be with those other citizens, Father, that might need your help tonight. Bless us as we meet. Help us to do what your will is. And we ask it all through Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call. Please show we have enough for a quorum tonight. 6 are here to conduct business. Next item on the agenda will be approval of minutes. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from June 30th, 2023. A motion from James Baltimore. Is there a second? Second from Rick Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next item, unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Next item, new business. Under new business, resolution 07172023. A resolution regarding public chapter 300, which requires the governing bodies reserve a period of public comment at any board or committee meeting of the city of Dyersburg. So in your packet was information regarding this from the comptroller's office. This is public chapter 300 that was passed this past year in Nashville. So the first page is a memo from the comptroller of the Treasury that talks about public chapters 300 and 213. Chapter 300. Public Chapter 300 requires that for each public meeting, governing bodies reserve a period for public comment to provide the public with opportunity to comment on matters that are germane to the items on the agenda for the meeting, and also requires that the meeting notice specify how individuals may indicate their desire to provide public comment at the meeting. The other part of that is Public Chapter 213, which requires adequate posting of meetings. We do that through our Facebook post with albums for our agendas, committee meetings, planning commission, different things that we have. This also applies to school boards, power boards, any entity that meets to discuss public issues. So the second page is that public chapter bill 300 that lays out what that is. Went into effect or passed April 5th, 2023. And then the third page is the resolution itself, 07172023. I will not read it in its entirety, but it sets out the process for us to have public meetings, make it available for folks to come to any meeting that we have a portion of a public comment period. So at our agendas from now on, when you get your agenda, the first thing on before we take any actionable anything actionable that requires a vote, that will be at the very top, okay? Any of y'all have any questions about the resolution itself?
I do,
Okay.
Under Section 5 of the proposed resolution, it indicates that this is intended to be a public comment policy and not a question and answer policy. Can you help me understand the difference between those two?
Well, that's in the law itself, that it's just a period of your opinion on whatever that may be on the agenda, germane to the agenda, and it's not a question and answer period. That is specified in the law that was passed. It was just copied from the law, quite honestly.
Just right out of the statute, so whatever that means, whatever their statute means is what our resolution means.
Right. Yes, it was taken straight from them. And the county passed this, their last meeting. This is very similar to the county resolution. I think the only difference, or one of the differences, is that I think they allow a speaker 2 minutes to speak. We're allowing a speaker 3 minutes to speak. Okay, I think that's one of the differences in that. So that's the resolution in itself, and then on the last page is the City of Dyersburg request to be placed on the agenda for public comment. And these will be available at City Hall. You can email myself, Scott Ball, or Lauren, or you can come in City Hall and fill that out. Your name, item to be discussed, and the date. So we're doing this to comply with state law and the comptroller's request. Any questions about this at all?
On the time, are we gonna have some kind of device up here or something like that, or are we gonna, or need that, or will that just be something we'll just be keeping on our own?
Do you know a TSSAA official that could let us borrow a whistle or a clock or
I
something?
didn't know we need to throw a flag at some point,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah. No, there are timers, and we'll either get a timer, or we can keep it on the phone or a watch or something. Yes. All right, any other questions? All right, I entertain a motion to approve this resolution. Have a motion from Joey Harrison, second from James Baltimore. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. The next item on the agenda, Dyersburg Police Department update, Police Chief Steve Isbell. Chief?
Thank you. So I'm here to give you an update on a couple of things. The first is the 4th of July detail. You know, for every year, I've come before the board to talk about the challenges that we face on the 4th of July, the days leading up to, and usually a couple of days afterwards. So this year, we responded to 475 calls for service during the 4th of July period, compared to 575 last year. There were 64 arrests made compared to 42 last year. 102 traffic stops compared to 147 last year. So the calls for service were down, arrests were up. Just to give you another comparison, the first weekend in June of this year, the same days of the week, same amount of time that we ran this operation, we averaged 357 calls for service, again compared to 475 during the 4th of July detail. That's 118 fewer calls for service. There were 61 arrests made compared to 64 arrests during the 4th of July holidays. That's 3 fewer arrests, and 58 traffic stops compared to 102, which is 44 fewer traffic stops. So it's just, it shows how active our officers are. Regardless of the holidays, we have seen a decrease in the issues that we're having on the 4th. We're still challenged. I know that on this particular night, we had every single person working, including myself, on the east side of Dyersburg dealing with a disturbance that could just continue to grow and grow. There was, we had to call the fire department down. There was a tree stump on fire. We had a pretty hostile crowd. There was a patrol car that was damaged. There was an officer inside the vehicle. This was after the disturbance, and they fired mortar round at the vehicle, shattered the front windshield. Thankfully, the officer was not injured. And that's what prompted everyone working to respond to this area, because it was reported that our officers were taking some fire from some of these mortar rounds, and so we had everyone down there. So it's just, you know, we're kind of dealing with some of these same issues every year. We've asked the community to help us with this. As a result of this, we were unable to respond to some other calls for service in the city. Now, high priority calls we did, but during this particular time when we had every person working in this community, a local agency called for assistance. They needed our assistance some distance from here, actually, and we simply did not have anyone that we could send immediately because we had to get this situation under control. So there's a lot at stake with this. This is dangerous. It's dangerous for our officers. It's dangerous for people in the communities that this affects. And again, we just ask our community to help us out with this. But the good news is things have improved, and we're going to keep working at it. Also happy to report through the Violent Crime Intervention Fund Collaborative Grant. This is a competitive grant that we applied for. We were awarded $1,270,945 for the regional multi-jurisdictional violent crime issues that we and our collaborative partners are experiencing. The lead agency for the collaborative grant is the Dyersburg Police Department. The project director is the DPD Lieutenant Jason Alexander, and agencies that partnered with us are Ripley Police Department, Halls, Troy, Union City, and South Fulton. So the collaborative grant, and this was available to all law enforcement agencies in Tennessee. I think it was to the tune of $150 million that was set aside for this. So we had to put together a plan, goals, objectives, and we reached out to local agencies in our area to partner with, because the more people you have that will join you, the chances are better that we'd be awarded some money. So these agencies joined us, and as a result, we're going to add 83 license plate readers. So there will be license plate readers on state routes from Ripley all the way to South Fulton. So this will be a unique geofence, if you will, covering the 51 corridor and some other areas. This is in addition to the LPRs that we already have inside of the city. So 83 LPRs, 3 SkyCop mobile surveillance cameras that will be on trailers that can be deployed to departments. Again, that will be shared equipment with these other agencies. One Draco gas delivery breaching system that will be housed and maintained here in Dyersburg with our special response team on our armored vehicle. One SWAT robot that will also be maintained here. 9 crime scene canopies, 30 pocket moon lighting systems, 9 forensic crime scene barriers, 13 metal detectors, 3 thermal imaging cameras. So those items will be shared amongst these agencies. We also applied and were awarded, just for the Dyersburg Police Department on the formula grant, an additional $278,102. I'm very, very excited to announce that with that money, we're going to add 17 SkyCop surveillance cameras in communities that we've had a lot of issues, some of our high crime areas, in addition to placing some units at Okina Park and at the farmers market areas. So this will be cameras that will be live feed 24/7, we'll have recording capabilities, and we hope that will assist us in combating some of this crime that we have faced. And we'll also, we're awarded 1 SkyCop mobile surveillance camera that will be housed here that we can deploy special events. If we have a trouble area to pop up that's not already covered, we can deploy those trailers to those areas as well. So we're very excited. A lot of good things are going to, I think, be done with this money. Some agencies went after additional personnel. Not everyone received their award. We looked at it, we talked about it. We're wanting the police smarter, not harder. Finding officers is a challenge right now, just like most other businesses and industry, having a hard time hiring people. So we wanted to use technology, and so we were awarded this. So we're very excited about that. We're also very excited that we just completed our CALEA assessment. Our assessor arrived in Dyersburg this past Sunday. He was scheduled to be here through Thursday. He left Wednesday, which is good news. He had everything taken care of. I think we'll get a favorable report. We should be receiving that in a couple of days, and then ultimately it'll be up to the full commission in October. We'll have to appear before the full commission to see if we will be awarded our accreditation again. But the assessor was very pleased with what he saw. They've already handled our remote assessment, looking at all of our files and everything looked really, really good. So we're excited about that. I'm really thankful for our team coming together and getting us through that. We also applied, and this was also available to all Tennessee law enforcement, the school resource officer grant money that's out there, and we were awarded $300,000 to pay for the salaries of our 4 SROs for the year. So we have a lot going. We also, again, this is available to all Tennessee law enforcement. When we hire uncertified individuals and send them to the academy, there's an expense there. We've applied for that grant as well and was awarded money that will take care of the tuition and startup cost when we hire officers to come to work here. So we're excited about that. And with that, that is my report.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody have any questions?
Chief, can I just say something?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the police department last night over there by my house, where the officers, one of the officers, I think it was Officer knocked on my door. Rang my doorbell. I got 3 doors, so I came to the wrong door. But when I came outside the door, they were outside, and someone had gotten in my car. And then across the street, they had gotten in my neighbor's car. And then down the street, I heard they had gotten in another car. And but they were out, and it's 2:30 in the morning. I guess around 2:30 in the morning. But they were out, and they were very courteous. Appreciate the job that they do, because they protect us even when we sleep.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And thank you for the officers that you have and the courtesy, because my neighbors on my street was talking about it this morning, and they was bragging on the police department and
Thank you.
how they did the thing last night. We really appreciate that. Let me ask, can I ask the question about, do we have a lot of homeless in Dyersburg?
We've got some, yes, sir.
It was mentioned to me that Dyersburg had picked up a bunch of homeless people out by McDonald's and out in that area, and I just wondered, what do we do with them? I mean, what can we do to help them?
Well, so we deal with agencies that, a bunch, I don't know what a bunch is, but, so we do have some folks that are regulars that are passing through town, and they kind of tend to come and go, but we work with Tennessee Homeless Solutions. We work with some of the churches here in town. When it got so hot a couple of weeks ago, there was a shelter for those folks that they could go to get out of the heat. Tennessee Homeless Solutions has a day bed down here on Mill Avenue, or day beds to house people. They also help get permanent housing for folks when that's available for them. So we have resources and agencies that we deal with to try to help people.
Are these mostly people just traveling through, or these are people that have lived here or live here now?
I think most of these folks are traveling through. Some have been here longer than others. I don't know where they come from. I attended a meeting in Jackson about 3 months ago, and they got some grant funding for a lot of agencies that serve this area as well to help those that are homeless, mental health needs and stuff. There's also a shelter in Jackson. I think it's complete for men to go that are homeless as well. So it's kind of a collaborative community effort and a collaborative regional effort as well to try to address that situation.
Do you think it's mostly because of the new truck stop that we got out there?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know.
Just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Are they just traveling through, and if we could help them?
Those issues have been going on for years, even before we got these truck stops. Of course, at West Dyersburg Church out there, we're on the bypass, and we're easy pickings sometimes. In the past, we'd been asked by the police department to, and I don't know if you still use NCIC checks or not, and often when, not often, but every now and then when you told them, now we've been asked by the police department, if you fill this form out and they want to do an NCIC, they'll excuse themselves and leave. But if they're legitimate, most of them, and there really are needs, and we always try to meet those. But I do appreciate what the police department does. They've got a big hand in what goes on with that kind of issue there. By the way, I got a call today from one of our ladies at church, and she was kind of concerned about. One of her neighbors called her this morning and told her that there was some police officers and some dogs going through your yard last night. It's about 1:30, she said. And I said, well, they're looking for that steel you got out there. But anyway, she lives over on Wade Hampton, and she was a little concerned about what was going on because she didn't know. Of course, at 1:30, she wasn't up anyway. But I found out today that the individual, probably the one that's breaking in these cars, was apprehended actually. And they actually did track him apparently through that area.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
our
we
canine.
appreciate y'all taking care of us, Chief.
Thank you, thank you. It was a good team effort. The officers working, and even a sheriff's deputy was in the area and saw the young man walking down the road. But I believe our canine was on a track and led to some areas where he had been prowling around, and hopefully and it was a 14-year-old juvenile in this particular case that was charged. But I think he's been responsible for some of those. So thank you.
Yeah, we would just encourage everyone to leave your doors locked and keys not in there, and if you got a garage, put the vehicle in the garage, but the main thing is leave your doors locked and no keys in there. Nothing visible of value inside, I think, would help a lot, I believe. I don't think any of these vehicles, I think all that is stemmed from doors being unlocked, I think.
My
Looking at-
doors were unlocked.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lieutenant Alexander, yeah, so, yeah, just encourage folks to lock up. Yeah, absolutely. Anything else for the chief? Anything? Thank you, Chief, we appreciate you, appreciate the men and women of the
I want
department.
to thank you again, Chief, and Brother Alexander and all of the officers that were down there taking care of us while we were asleep.
All right, thank you for all you do, men and women of the police department, we appreciate it very much. The next item on the agenda is bids. All these were approved in the budget process, no action needed on any of these. One for sanitation, one for water sewer, and one for the codes department, EOC. Any questions about these bids? All right, next item on the agenda, report from Alderman, Mr. Baltimore,
I don't have anything.
Rick Crawford, Joey, Dennis.
We've got several, I've had several calls about some areas, I know where they, dug up streets where they could, I guess for this sewer rehab. When are we gonna get anything on some of those? There's some pretty bad ones.
Yeah, they've been paving, and they'll start back in the morning. They paved last week and got Kist and, Reynolds. They're gonna actually starting tomorrow on the actual street cuts of one of their sizes of this desk or size of that TV and
So
stuff.
they're gonna start on tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and
That's all.
They'll stay on those till they get done.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's all.
Vanetta?
No report.
All right, thank you, appreciate it, we're adjourned.